Hi, I'm Elle Brown, but you can call me Mama Bear. And today I'm going to share with you one of my absolute favorite home activities to do with my little guy. Now, I absolutely love baking with my son. Why? Because baking gives me an opportunity to spend some wonderful time with my son, bonding and talking and just simply enjoying his company. But in addition to that, it also gives me an opportunity to share some beautiful learning experiences with him as well. Now, when I walk into the grocery store and I look at the back of a bread mix box, I actually see a beautifully written lesson plan. Now, every lesson plan has an objective. What's my objective? To make wonderful, yummy, yummy muffins with my little guy. Then I have my supplies, I have directions, and I have an outcome, those yummy, yummy muffins that we're going to make. Now, a bread mix box gives me an opportunity to work across many, many disciplines that are in early childhood education. We have literacy and math and science and life skills and social skills and citizenship all in this one baking mix box. So we're going to walk through those and then I'm going to give you a little bonus at the end. Now, the first skill that we're going to touch on, or the first area, is literacy. Now, we have some reading skills that we can go over on this box. We have our items listed out. They have the directions there, and they're written nice and concisely. Now, if you have an emergent reader or a non-reader, they have realistic pictures of the eggs above the word egg. And they have realistic pictures of oil and water also above the words oil and water. We have the directions also written out in one word. So we have 1, heat, 2, stir, 3, bake. So there in this one box you have reading, you have following directions, you also have sequencing. Now we can move on to math. Now math, we hit the jackpot with this box because first we're going to touch on some measurements. We measure volume, we have some water there, and we have some oil that we're going to measure in our measuring cups. We're going to measure temperature. It tells us what? We need to turn our stove to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, we also have the measurement of time because it tells us how long we're going to preheat our oven. It also tells us how long we're going to bake our muffin mix. It also tells us how long we're going to sit our muffins on the countertop. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, you can add all those minutes together and with your older kid and see exactly how long this entire project is going to take. Don't forget to add your prep time in there. Now, another beautiful math activity that you have here is your basic counting for our little guys. Now, we have how many eggs? 1, 2. How many bowls? 1 bowl. How many muffins are we going to make? And it says right there we're going to make 12 regular size muffins. Now, for your slightly older kids, we have fractions. Now, how much water? 3/4. How much oil? 1/4. There, you have measurements, you have basic counting, you have some addition if you choose to, you have fractions, you have so much packed right in this little box. Now let's move on to science. Now, with our science, we can look at this box and we're going to talk about properties. Our batter is a liquid, and after we bake it, it's going to turn to a what? Solid. That's what happens when our properties change. Now, there's a little bit of science for you. Now, let's move on to some social skills. Now, social skills, and let's add some citizenship in there as well. Now, citizenship, we all play a role. So today our role is to prepare some wonderful muffins for the family. And we're going to share those muffins. Now we're going to talk about some of the roles that our family members play as we put together our beautiful muffins in our kitchen, which is the heart of the home. Then we're going to take it one step further. If you really want to work with some social skills with your little guy or your little girl, you can invite some friends from school over and have a play date to enjoy some of these beautiful muffins that you made, or you can have making the muffins the actual play date. It makes for a wonderful activity with children. You know, hey, you clean up afterwards, but the mess is so much worth it. Now, life skills. Life skills is so important to teach our little guys things that they're going to use for a lifetime. Cooking is one. Learning to cook for oneself is an important life skill. Also hygiene. We're gonna wash our hands before we cook. We're gonna wash the utensils. We're gonna wash the countertop. You can have very important conversations about hygiene and germs and preparing food for others when you're baking with your baby. Now, I told you that I was going to give you a super secret bonus. Now, my son is on the autism spectrum. And for those of you who have children on the autism spectrum or work with children on the autism spectrum, you know that sometimes they can be very, very, very selective about the foods they'll eat. I have learned that when I allow my baby to join me in the kitchen, he is more likely to eat the outcome of our experience. So his favorite is pumpkin. So we'll take something like a pumpkin bread mix and I'll let him add in foods that he would not normally eat. Like I'll add some oatmeal in there with him. I'll let him choose some shredded carrots and we'll throw in there. We'll also bring out some raisins, a lot of textures that he may not like in isolation. We'll even take an apple and chop it up and put it in there. And then we stir it up and we'll make some wonderful, what we call breakfast muffins, but we eat them throughout the day. We put them in his lunch box when he can't decide on another food item to eat. We eat them as after school snacks. But one of the things I've noticed that if I give him some control and some input in the preparation of his food, he's more likely to try new things. So, baking boxes of bread mix, in the baking section, wonderful lesson plans, something that you can try at home with your little ones. Thank you for watching. Let's work together and pour life into our babies while making the world our classroom.